Welcome back, SGL, for another double header. This time it is in the Premier League. This is the only Mazar, and we have a good couple of matches coming up here for you tonight. Starting off with first versus third in the SGL Premier, Timbers Army of Portland Timbers versus LaCinco12 of Austin FC. And then we follow this up with a classic SGL matchup between Emerald City RC of Seattle Sounders and KC Cauldron of Sporting KC. Nelly, good to see you in the chat, brother. How you doing tonight? But yeah, we have a couple of great matches in store for you here today. Before we go on, let's do a quick recap of what happened yesterday, because we kicked off with an absolute banger. A doubleheader in the championship featuring the first loss for the Rebellion against Emerald City Defiance, followed by a 5-game cinema of a matchup between Steel Army versus Frontera Azul, in which Steel Army won in overtime in Game 5 to go to the top of the SGL Championship. Doing all right, Nelly? Just looking forward to seeing these two matches kick off tonight. I'm hoping they match up to what we saw yesterday in the championship. With how things started yesterday, the Premier has a lot to live up to. And let's take a quick look at the standings to see where we are before we kick off the Premier matches tonight. Quick recap over at the championship end. First, though, Steel Army at the top, as I mentioned earlier. The Rebellion, with their first loss, dropped down to second. EC Defiance are in the title chase now, 6 points behind the top. Frontera Azul, though, still trying to keep up. And the rest, well, they're just drifting further and further away, but they should be able to come back if they keep improving. And then in the Premier, we have Timbers Army leading at the top by 1 point over Frontera Chrome, followed by LaCinco12. For LaCinco12, they might not be even able to get to the top, even if they get a sweep, because the win percentage is just way too far for them to catch up to. But a sweep will still be huge for them, as they'll be tied on points with Timbers Army. With that said, that will be a very tough ask. And as Nelly said, I would not be surprised if Timbers Army sweep LaCinco12. But don't rule out the Austin boys. They have been getting better as the season's progressed. Meanwhile, KC Cauldron, with a 3-4 record, are only 7 points away from the top. Still 1 point ahead of El Matador, who are 4-3. For Emerald City RC, though, they have been drifting further and further away as the season has progressed. They're also out of the Premier Cup, so for them, this is all they have to play for. This will be important for both sides as well, trying to keep themselves up in this title chase. And with that out of the way, I think it's time for us to look into how Timbers Army and LaCinco12 compare. And here's why you can see Nelly predicting a sweep. Now, Nelly is a Timbers Army player, for those of you who don't know. And yeah, some will say, yeah, well, there's some bias going on. But I mean, if you look at the team stats right here, it makes perfect sense. Now, bear in mind, these team stats do not include the Week 7 stats, because ball chasing has been down for a while. I'm only showcasing this just to show you the disparity between these two sides overall. But with that said, don't be surprised if LaCinco12 step it up and possibly get a game or two, depending on how things go. I mean, we saw EC Defiance get a big upset over the Rebellion. So, you know, anything's possible in SGL. I think now will be a good time to get the predictions going. We are 3 minutes away from kickoff. Let's see who you guys have winning this matchup. Nelly already put his prediction down, TA sweep. For me, I don't think it will be a sweep, but I do think Timbers Army will see off LaCinco12. I could see Timbers Army winning 3-1 Yeah, 3-1 makes sense. If they go 5, I'll be surprised. But I'm expecting a 3-1 right there. Cesar, good to see you, brother. They've never seen Busted Cider 6996 though. They haven't, and I doubt they will. Not gonna lie. I doubt good old Hophead will want to come on and deal with Timber's army right here. Now that's a mismatch and a half right there. So, as we wait for this first match to kick off, just a reminder that with ball chasing having its struggles, we're going to try something a little different here. We're going to have the match admin controls disabled, and we will also be making sure to select our maps so that the replays can be parsable on that website. What this means is, if you've been noticing, we've been going and playing in Parc de Paris recently. We might have to skip that map tonight just to see if ball chasing could get these replays parsed. And if so, here's hoping that we face no issues tonight in either this matchup or the next one between ECRC and KC Cauldron. Mama Righto, good to see you in the chat. Not too often we get to see you in here, but I guess it makes sense because your boy might be playing tonight. Maybe not every game. If they have their full squad, they might want to rotate, but I wouldn't be surprised if he plays all the games against LaCinco12 right here. Luis, good to see you as well. 1 minute away from kickoff. We'll be going very soon. One thing I'm curious about is how these teams will change, if at all, when the roster update window opens up in 2 weeks' time. Yes, that is right. Starting December 29th, the roster update window will begin, which means every single team in SGL will have a chance to update their rosters, bring in new players, remove players who may not be around anymore, and get the chance to improve their team and hopefully go up and rise up in the standings or have a chance of winning the cup if they're still in it. Now, this update window will last a full week. So it will start on December 29th and end on January 4th. Caesar saying, I think Sounders RC need that right now. Yeah, you're right about that. They're just a team of 3. That's about it. Unfortunate that the match had to be forfeited. It would really help if they can get some more players in so that they can improve their chances of getting a matchup completed. Of course, you can't just bring anyone in. You have to bring in people who fit into what SGL is all about. So every team that lines up here lines up with soccer fans of the team that you see listed below their SGL team name right here. So every Timbers Army player is a fan of the Portland Timbers, and every LaCinco12 fan player is a fan of Austin FC. So you won't have a situation where, say, LaCinco12 will bring in someone and they're just playing Rocket League, and they don't care about soccer. Or you won't have a situation where Timbers Army will bring in a St. Louis City FC fan, for example. So those situations won't pop up. It's you're representing your team's fan base, basically, and it's all about bragging rights at the end of the day. I think I fit well on EM. Caesar, if you want to move, you can, because both EM and EM Dallas Burn are FC Dallas teams. There's nothing stopping you from jumping from one team to another. Yeah, we are 2 minutes past the specified kickoff time, but just as a heads up, we are waiting for both teams to come in. One of them is in. We're waiting for the other one. And right on cue, we're starting to see everyone join. We are now ready to kick off. Strap yourselves in for another great night of SGL Rocket League action. We got a Premier League doubleheader starting very soon. And you might hear the engine revving. That's because both teams are in. And we are going to kick off very soon. Here we go. Timbers Army versus LaCinco12. Lloyd boy, fast start already. Choosing to play in the Octane this time. He means business right here. And not just any Octane, but the old NRG Octane as well. Meanwhile, Rudsau playing in his Carmine Core Fennec. Now Devin gets the ball, tries to center it, but it rolls right in towards Loyboy, who clears it out. Rydog clearing it out once again to Devin. And right now, both teams are looking a little bit cagey. Not really trying to commit too hard. Speaking of both teams, let's start with the lineups. For Timbers Army, Loyboy, Rydog, and Piglet. Nelly on the bench for now, if he is on. And for LaCinco12, Rudsau, Devin, and Palace. And they are off to a terrible start right here. Piglet cleaning up the mess after Loyboy tried to do a low musty. Didn't really get it off that well, but the ball still ricochets off the backboard. Piglet cleans up, and Timbers Army take the lead 1-0. Tank Pillow, good to see you, dude. How you doing? And not too long after they take the lead, Timbers Army extend it. They get their second. Piglet winning a 50. Open net. Loyboy just had to tap it in, which he does. 65 miles per hour, 105 kilometers per hour on Allen's BangersOnly.com radar gun. And Timbers Army extend their lead to 2, just like that. And it keeps getting worse. The floodgates have opened for LaCinco12. Rydog now piling on the misery, adding a third straight after kickoff yet again. LaCinco12, after conceding the first, concede 2 straight after. Timbers Army are running away with it. Oh my goodness, it doesn't stop! Rydog already has a second! Both Loyboy and Rydog are on a hat trick! And it's yet another kickoff that goes awry for the Austin FC boys! 4-0! And this is looking really, really bad for the third place LaCinco12. Man, after so many good performances from LaCinco12 in recent weeks, they have definitely snapped back into reality right here. Those goals are not the sort of goals you want to concede so soon after kickoff. Just not really, ready to go. But now they get some time to settle. Finally get the ball into the blue half. Try to get an attack going. They do get a shot, but it's not really that threatening either. And Timbers Army are looking incredibly comfortable right now. Alice with a shot. Good save by Rydog. Second shot's right there. And Rudsau gets LaCinco12 on the board. Better late than never. And with 3 minutes remaining, there's still a lot of time for them to come back. Scoreline is now 4-1 in favor of Timbers Army. And there's one thing you cannot do against this Timbers Army side, and that's concede a goal first. If Timbers Army get a goal first, they really start to get themselves going. And it's no surprise that after they got their first, they were able to get 3 more straight after that. And now they're defending quite comfortably as well. Rydog with a good save right there. Loyboy with 0 boost gets it out. Rydog now takes over. And Rudsau needs to take it out away, but not gift it to Piglet. Once again, the open net. LaCinco12 trying to push up and be aggressive. Palace at the corner trying to get to the ball. Doesn't even dive to it. Devin right behind all of them. Someone has to be in front of Piglet and stop that ball from going towards the net. And after getting a goal back, they concede one yet again about 30 seconds after. And they're conceding another. It's 6-1. We're only just 9 seconds into the second half. Loyboy gets his hat trick. And Timbers Army are running away with it right here. Did I say Loyboy has his hat trick? I'm wrong. Loyboy has a second. Because Piglet is on a hat trick as well. Everyone's on a hat trick right now. Everyone has two. I apologize for that. That's an oopsie on my part. But speaking of oopsies, right now it's completely catastrophic for LaCinco12. They have lost control of game one. Timbers Army looking really strong right now. Last week against CM Dallas Burn, they conceded game one and they started Piglet, Nelly, and Loyboy. This time that Piglet's starting in place of Nelly, and they're looking phenomenal out there. LaCinco12 looking out of order, completely disheveled. Surprised that we haven't seen a goal yet, but right now Timbers Army are just enjoying themselves out there. The Austin boys really looking very reserved, not really trying to push up and get to the ball first for the most part. Shot attempt by Palace, easy save once again by Loyboy. Outside of that one follow-up from, I believe, Runsau, they haven't really had much else go their way. As we go in towards the final minute, Timbers Army leads 6-1, have total control of this game. Not for long, though. It is now 6-2. Just as we hit the 60-second mark, Devin goes off the sidewall. Rydog with an awkward backflip, not able to get back to his position on time afterwards. LaCinco12 get two. It is 6-2, but they still have a lot of work to do to come back. Well, they are getting a bit of help on the way to their potential comeback. And we seem to have another problem because Rydog is also disconnected from the lobby. And something must be up. He did come back immediately afterwards, though, so not for too long. Bit of an awkward moment, though, for Timbers Army with that DC. As a reminder, might have mentioned this earlier, but for those of you who are just coming in right now, we do not have any match admin controls enabled right here because we want to check and make sure that ball chasing is able to parse the replays. So we'll see if this works out. 6-3, 20 seconds to go. LaCinco12 are trying all they can to reduce the deficit even further. After what it was a terrible start by them, they have bounced back. Nice save right there as well. The ball floats to the other end. Palace cannot make it, cannot beat Loyboy. And the game one goes Timbers Army's way. No surprise once they got their first goal. They are showing all of us why they are the favorites for the Premier League title. As we look at the post-game stats right here, it is a big surprise to see Palace with only 110 points. You don't typically get to see that every day. Meanwhile, on Timbers Army side, a lot of touches from Loyboy. 67 touches, which is insane. I mean, he had all the control right there. Ignore the 3 touches from Rydog. He did get a disconnect. He only got 3 touches since then. So don't be surprised by that. But for LaCinco12, they have a lot of work and catching up to do. to be able to equal themselves against this Timbers Army trio. And we now go into game 2 in Forbidden Temple. As we kick off, here we go. Timbers Army, can they get their second and go on match point? Can LaCinco12 learn the lessons and get one back? Once again, a poor start. Rydog trying to go to the far post, just couldn't get it on target. And I thought LaCinco12 were going to concede yet again. So far, they get away with it. Boy trying to go for a bump after his dribble setup. Piglet beats Palace. He's really late there, too. Surprised to see that. Runs out trying to go for a final touch, then goes for a bump attempt. No one there. Low shot effort by Devin. Gets it cleared out. Palace gets beaten yet again. Runs out. 1v1. He misses. Piglet has air boost. Boy trying to go for a shot. Tough angle. Couldn't get it on target, and LaCinco12 get away with it yet again. It's still 0-0. An audacious double attempt as well from Runsau. Palace once again couldn't get his car to the ball. He's really been trying to get those 50s and challenges in, but he's just getting beaten on every occasion. Devin loses the challenge to Rydog. Palace trying to pass it to Devin, who misses. And now LaCinco12 need to get their boost back. Palace staying up to keep the pressure going. Runs out now, trying to follow up with a shot off the tight angle. Couldn't get it in. Rydog does just enough to see it off for now. Devin centers. Shot attempt from Palace. Off target. Runs out, follows up. LaCinco12 have definitely learned their lessons. They're back to their best. LaCinco12 are up 1-0. And that is what the 5-1-2 are all about. That level of aggression, challenging early on, making sure the opposition don't get out of their goal area. And now we might see a second coming. Big 50 from Devin, but Loyboy takes charge and brings it out. And he keeps control of the ball to the corner. Now centers it, looking for a bump off the backboard. Piglet challenges. Rydog trying to follow up towards the middle to Piglet. And a big clearance by Runsau. And both of these teams tend to play similarly to each other in the way they are aggressive in the opposite end. Both like to commit the third man up. Both like to make sure that the first guy who's close to the ball is there to challenge instantly. Everyone likes to dive into the ball as well, even if they don't have much boost. Runs out an awkward situation, does just enough to get the ball out. Does a great job of getting it that far as well. Devin now clears it out. Palace just gets the side boost. He has a shot on. Passes it to Devin. Oh my goodness, an insane double save from Loyboy. Where did that come from? I thought that was going to be 2-0, but Loyboy keeps his team in it. And right on cue, Skyline with 100 bits. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it. LaCinco12 looking hot. Low shot attempt. Trying to give it to Runsau, who couldn't get on the end of that. And LaCinco12 are putting Timbers Army on the back foot in game 2. The only thing in Timbers Army's favor is that the scoreline's very close and they still have a chance of coming back. Nice touch. Oh, Runsau takes it away from Devin, but that side roll gets him back in control. Shoots towards the net. Rydog has enough time to take charge. Couldn't get it over Runsau. Loyboy pops it to the middle. Piglet trying to pass it out to Rydog. Loyboy takes over now. Ball's loose, and Runsau gives it to Devin. Devin off of the corner. This is a good setup right there. And Palace needs to get back real quick because Loyboy is lurking, and he does just enough to keep the ball away from the orange net. As the demos start to come out, we are now entering the final minute. It is still 1-0 to LaCinco12. It could have been 2-0, but for Loyboy and his incredible double save, Timbers Army haven't really been able to create a super solid opportunity. LaCinco12 doing much better defensively this time around. Oh, a great demo attempt. Throws Loyboy off. Rydog trying to take charge from the ceiling. Palace gets the first touch. And right now, all these touches do is waste time for Timber's Army. Palace yet again, popping it up, taking it away from Loyboy. Piglet trying to get back to it, but the pass into the middle from LaCinco12. Loyboy takes over, beats one. Devin is outside of position. Open net! And Loyboy equalizes with 20 seconds to go. And he punishes LaCinco12 for their show of aggression. It is one apiece. Why is that open? Well, unfortunately, Luis, Devin decided to go up right next to Palace. So when Palace got beaten, Devin got beaten as well. And Rudsau couldn't make it back on time. And that's how quickly Timber's Army can come back. You give them an inch and they'll take a mile. Might we see that again? Loyboy flicking it up. Rydog right there. The ball through to the middle. What a big miss. That should have been the game winner. And we go into overtime. Now Piglet trying to take over, but gets beaten by Palace. Rydog touches it to the corner. That's control. Loyboy waiting for him to play a pass, but Rydog takes charge. Big miss though. Rudsau pops it up to Palace, who takes it away to the corner. Devin's right there as well. For what reason, we don't know. But the whole team is now out of position. Palace needs to slow down the Rydog. That's right, Timber's Army attack. He does just enough to get them out of their rhythm. Rudsau with 0 boost, trying to create something, but succumbs to Loyboy, who has 100 boost, dribbles it out to the other end, goes for a shot, misses, open net, and Piglet couldn't get a clean shot. Rudsau got back just in time. Skyline, I'm not going to read that comment, but yeah, more open than that, for sure. Oh my goodness, I thought that was going to be the game winner yet again. Wait! Piglet should have had the winner right there. But Rydog saves it for LaCinco12, whether he meant it or not. And Devin couldn't get it on target. Rudsau on target. Devin misses. Everyone from LaCinco12 is out of position. Rydog, he can get the game winner right here. LaCinco12 back. Rydog again. How do you do it 2 in a row? Rydog, the savior for Timber's Army, is not the savior for LaCinco12. We have not seen this amazing sort of defending before, but Rydog has done it once again, and LaCinco12 are somehow still in this game. Just sloppiness from both ends. Somehow this game hasn't finished yet. LaCinco12 are in trouble. Shot attempt off target by Loyboy. Oh my goodness. What are we watching right now, chat? Luis, you're right. What in the SGL gameplay? But then Loyboy comes out and gets a nice save. Center to the middle. Too close to Rydog. Pops it into the middle for Piglet to clear. Devin rushing up for no reason. The net is open yet again. This time Devin is able to get back on time, and a huge pitch clearance allows Rudsau to potentially take over. Doesn't really get the touch, but he still does well enough to throw Timber's Army off guard. Palace to the middle. Rudsau chooses to go back instead of cut for the ball. Oh, a big miss from Rydog. This allows Palace to take over. Off the backboard. Rudsau, great save. Winner. And after everything we have seen in this game too, teammate saves, misses, whips, you name it, it happened. LaCinco12 come off 2-1 winners and get one on the board in this matchup. I'm gonna be very honest, I do not know if we were being trolled right there, or if Rydog tried his best to avoid it, but you know what? You win some, you lose some at the end of the day. Crazy to see Loyboy have 5 saves. He did all he could to keep Timber's Army in this. LaCinco12 were back. They played really well. Just couldn't get that finish off because of Loyboy and his insane goalkeeping. Meanwhile, on the other end, Timbers Army should have won, but then Rydog pulls out 2 insane saves, and it's crazy to see how LaCinco12 win 2-1 with 0 saves in total. Now, with that said, LaCinco12 had 13 shots compared to Timbers Army 6. I think that tells you all you need to know about how much better LaCinco12 played in this game too. Taking away the easy chances, getting into their faces earlier, making sure they don't settle in and get going. And we'll see how this Game 3 goes as both teams enter into DFH Stadium.
3, 2, 1, go!
Here we go! Game 3. This is a critical game now for both sides. Timbers Army should have been on match point, but they couldn't get it done. LaCinco12 can be on match point if they win this game. Who will take the initiative? Nelly says Rydog had more team saves than LaCinco12 combined. Yeah, that's the crazy part, isn't it? If we're talking about like statistics and how the saves get counted, Rydog definitely had 2 saves that the game would count, for sure. Yeah. Devin with a nice challenge. Now takes over from the corner, centers it, runs out, going in. Oh my goodness, good shot, but off target. Runs out, tries to make up for it with 0 boost, but just couldn't do much more than that. He has to bail out. Devin now takes over. Good challenge there by Rydog, but couldn't follow up afterwards. Palace towards Loyboy. Back flips. He is thrown off. Devin looking awkward too, but does just enough to save that. Piglet slows it down. Devin with a huge 50, going to the other end. Palace taking over from the corner. Loyboy, nice first touch. The net is open. The ball is curving towards the open net. And Loyboy gives Timbers Army the lead. Runsau was incredibly high up there, by the way. Like, that is insane to see. And once he missed the ball, it was, you know, a huge problem for LaCinco12. They were in massive trouble right there, and all Loyboy had to do was put enough spin on that ball so it could curl into the net. And this is where LaCinco12's play style can get them in trouble. If they don't win that challenge, or if they overcommit, they are in big, big trouble. Nice pass there to Piglet. Soft touch that gives just enough time for LaCinco12 to recover and get the ball out. Ball's loose, but Loyboy takes over. Tries to go for a second to the corner. Devin elects to let it go. Runs out with 0 boost. Goes for a 50. Loses it to Rydog, who's looking for a demo in front of the net. No one to get at, though. And Piglet centers it nicely. Loyboy has a 100 boost. He could get a shot off. No power. And it gives just enough time for a big pitch clearance. Yeah, Luis, I agree. Devin's been doing that to both Palace and Runsau. He's just been ball chasing heavily from time to time. Oh, awkward right there for Piglet. And Runsau harasses Rydog out of the net and leaves it all open for Palace to shoot it in. And just like that, LaCinco12 are back. It is 1-1. Great kickoff, runs out, going for goal, but Piglet touches it away to the corner. Palace lets it go, runs out, 50. Runs out. Palace is still there, getting the 50. Now Runsau takes over. First touch, Palace trying to intercept, couldn't really get to it. Gets a nice interception off the corner. And Devin has control. He's gonna go off the ceiling, try to bounce it down, but Rydog reads him and beats him to it. Loyboy now to the other end. The net is open. Surely that would be the second, but he misses. An open net right there. And LaCinco12 are still in this. Loyboy gets enough time to set up for a solo effort. Big pass off towards Rydog, who gets challenged. And now Devin, all on his own, in the corner, chooses to get the boost. Doesn't get enough power in his pass. Loyboy gets it out. Rydog to the other end. Rydog lets it go as well. Gets demoed for trying to get the corner boost. And LaCinco12 are on the back foot right here. think they have learned their lesson from trying to overcommit. Because now they're choosing to go back. Devin gets a nice first touch. Big 50 as well. And Timber's Army are trying to find their groove again. But the ball is still quite loose. Rydog just on his own, trying to get it off the backboard. The clearance goes to Piglet, who plays it out towards Palace, who brings it out, beats one. He misses the ball though. Devin needs to take over. Rydog, sorry, Loyboy takes charge, goes for a musty. Oh, goes for a double tap effort. Off target yet again. He may be looking for the clips, but they're not resulting in goals. And we are now in the final minute. And LaCinco12 are still in this. Really tense moments right now for LaCinco12. They've been on the back foot for the past minute and a half. Timber's Army are pushing up. They're playing with so much more aggression right now. Big clearance towards Devin, but he doesn't have the boost to meet that. The demo, though, helps give LaCinco12 a little bit of reprieve. That challenge does as well. The ball's going to the other end. Runs out with a demo attempt, but he gets demoed himself by Loyboy. And that spawn is perfect. He brings it out to the midfield to Rydog. And oh my goodness! How did that work out for Timber's Army? Rydog off of the corner, playing it to Piglet, who touches it perfectly to the near corner. LaCinco12 trying to get to the ball, but not able to cover their goal. And with 7 seconds remaining, Timber's Army might be going into match point. And will they seal the deal? Yes, they will. Piglet gets his second. Timber's Army their third. Game 3 to Timber's Army. LaCinco12 lost control at the end. The double commits have hurt them so much throughout this match. They were so close as well. But now, Timber's Army are on match point. LaCinco12 did well enough to get one with a huge amount of assistance from Rydog, mind you. But they have to clean up their game right here in order to stand a chance at winning it all tonight. Timber's Army regrouped real quickly after that equalizer as well from Palace. They've done a great job of getting the ball past the initial challenges, and LaCinco12 just kept running out of boost, having to stay on the back foot a whole lot. And you could see it in their gameplay, sorry, as well. LaCinco12 were mostly not really trying to commit too high up once the ball went into the other end. Just trying to hunt for boost to see if they have enough to, even play a part in this game. And the double commits just keep hurting them as well. It's just, you don't want to see that. But we'll see if they can get it all together in this game 4. Timber's Army are on match point. They win this. They keep themselves at the top. LaCinco12 need to win this to go to Champions Field. Here we go. And it's no surprise that once again the kickoff comes off with a double commit. Devin just a bit too late, and with 0 boost throughout this whole spell too. He could have picked up a couple of pads, but he's still stuck in 0 boost. Now Loyboy cranks up the pressure, looking for a demo. Pal's also on 0 boost. Runs out, the only one with something in his tank. He does just enough to clear it out. Great effort by Palace to get back up there, to look for a shot attempt. Just couldn't get enough for a contact on the ball. And Devin is still low on boost, but just gets the corner. Now needs to go for a save, but Rydog takes him out, and Loyboy gives Timber's Army the lead in game 4. And this is when Timber's Army are at their best. It is in these game 4s and 5s when they really start to crank up the pressure and become absolutely relentless. This is when everything starts to come off for the boys from Portland. And again, a double commit, just throwing LaCinco12 off rhythm. Devin, though, makes up for it with a save, but he has really caused a lot of problems for his teammates. He's trying to get to the ball when he doesn't even need to. But at least the ball now goes into the blue half. Piglet does just enough to give it to Loyboy, who gets bumped away by Devin. Not for long, though. And Loyboy does a great job of getting a demo as well. Has it set up high up in the blue area. Sorry, blue-orange area. Loose ball, big whip. Bump away, though. And Rhino cleans it up at the end of the day. I was surprised that Piglet couldn't get the touch right there. And the big bump on Rudsau means that Devin was too far away for the save attempt. Rhino cleans it up. Timbers Army are already up 2-0. And chat, I hate to say it, but I think Timbers Army is looking very likely to win this game 4. Well, I spoke too soon. Because Timbers Army have just conceded straight out of kickoff, and I think that's the first time they did so as well. So you know what? Curse the commentator. Job done. My bad, Timbers Army. LaCinco12 are back 2-1 with 3 minutes, 31 seconds to go. And you know what? I don't even know what I'm watching, chat. Because LaCinco12 decided to give a gift to Timbers Army. Loyboy avoiding a bump. Rudsau tried to bounce it above the goal. Just couldn't get enough on that ball to get it over the net. Unlucky for him. But Timbers Army get a goal back. And that makes up for that kickoff goal. And here we go again. I have nothing else to say. Because now it's LaCinco12's turn to get a goal off a kickoff. Open net yet again, by the way. And I don't think they're actually intentionally trying to give goals right here. I think it's just things are falling into the hands of both of these teams when they get their kickoffs going. And finally, you get a neutral kickoff. And the game is back to normal. But might we see an equalizer? Great intervention by Loyboy. Devin trying to do something, gets not a clean touch, though. And what a pass, what a save! At the end of that powerful shot, Rydog thought he had his fourth, but Rudsau denies him. And it's still 3-2 to Timbers Army. Devin, oh, he needed to win that. Rydog does great to get the ball to the other end. Big miss from Rudsau as well. Palace couldn't get to the ball. Devin gets it away. Nice bump there from Palace. Devin centers it. Towards it to the far post. And LaCinco12 are back in it. From 2-0 down. From 3-1 down. LaCinco12 are back. 3-3. What an insane game 4. And you know what? Every single time LaCinco12 have been in a game, it's because of the mistakes of their opposition. And it's those mistakes that helped Timbers Army too, but somehow they did not capitalize. Loyboy had the net all open. That should have been a fourth. At this point, I'm thinking these guys are just trying to stir up some drama themselves. Because I see no reason for Loyboy to miss that. That's a very easy effort for him. And now Devin dives in, misses, but gets a demo. His teammates are back, though. Palace gets demo for his trouble. Rudsau tries to take over. Loyboy towards the net. Powerful effort. Piglet gets the lead. Back for Timbers Army. Great job by Piglet right there. Rudsau couldn't get to him. Palace caught in no man's land, and Piglet just had to tap it into the back of the net. With less than 2 minutes remaining, Timbers Army are up 4-3, but I don't think that's the last of the goals tonight. Soft touch by Palace to Loyboy, who baits a 50 out, gets a good win right there. Rydog towards Loyboy, who waits and sees what happens. Pop up for Devin, who gets the first ball, runs out cherry pick attempt. Off target, and a big clearance towards Piglet, who pops it up for Rydog. Rydog shot on net. Devin, big save. And right now, both sides just are looking to get some control, but just not really getting a handle of the situation. Just end to end right now, whether they like to play like that or not. And once again, a double commit throws LaCinco12 off their mojo, And an awkward touch in the middle. No one is there to clean up. And somehow, LaCinco12 get away with it. With zero boost, he's been playing with zero boost a lot, hasn't he? Like, struggling to really get back into the game. And his teammates are also struggling to get into this as well. Oh, I thought that was going to be the 5th for Timbers Army. They do just enough to keep it out of the net. LaCinco12 are running out of time to get back into this. Less than 30 seconds remaining. Big bump away. Palace, final touch with no boost in the tank. Loyboy takes over and starts to waste even more time with his slow dribble play right there. Final 10 seconds. LaCinco12 need to do it right here, right now. And they all just pull away with the final second in the game? Have they just given up? They have. They just gave up. And Timbers Army seal the deal and win 5-3 to go back. Sorry, to extend the lead at the top of the table back to 5 points. If you couldn't tell, I'm absolutely disheveled right now. I don't even know what I was watching here. It felt like neither team wanted to win the easy way. They just had to make it hard. But at the end of the day, Loyboy stepped up and took over. And Timbers Army came up worthy winners. That indeed was some peak SGL gameplay, Luis. I'm not gonna lie, I think we saw cleaner gameplay in the championship than we did here tonight. Welcome on in, Nelly from Timbers Army. Nelly, you did not play a single second throughout that match, but I'm sure you felt good seeing them win 3-1 and extend the lead to 5. How are you feeling about the boys who were out there performing?
Yeah, the boys put in an okay performance that ended up getting the job done. It was definitely harder to watch than it is to play. Yeah, the reason I didn't step on the field, I was at work during the series. So yeah, that's that. But shout out to the boys for getting it done.
So you want to elaborate on the performances? Because yeah, it's definitely not their best performance. Some will say it was the worst performance of the season too. So what is your view on that?
Well, there's certainly some moments that it could be cleaned up. Specifically in game, I think 2, which was the game that they lost. Some misses, some unfortunate team saves. I jumped in the Discord call with the boys after the game ended, or after the series ended, and I was like, "Yo, you guys had me worried there for a second." But yeah, they kind of laughed it off. They were having a good time, so it is what it is. It happens.
It absolutely does. But 2 in a row like that, I mean, that's pretty much lightning strike.
That was pretty funny.
It's just, oh my lord.
I already gave Rydog quite a bit of shit. Pardon my French for it, but yeah, he was just laughing it off. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, they got away with it for sure. Now, LaCinco12 tried as they might. I mean, they played really hard out there, put you guys on the back foot at times. Was there ever a point where, Timbers Army were kind of getting worried, or were they always just comfortable with the situations?
Well, I wasn't in the Discord during the match. I was certainly worried watching the game, wishing for my team to get it together a little bit. Because LaCinco12 is on a bit of a heater right now. They caught fire, kind of right after they played us in the first half of the season. So it's been good to see them, string quite a few wins together, find themselves all the way in 3rd in the table, which is awesome. So kudos to them for that. I don't really think the boys were worried during the series. We don't really, I don't want to sound arrogant, but we don't really get worried. We're just kind of playing for fun. We're just having a good time. So yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak on if they were worried or not. I'm sure there were some jitters, especially after game 2. They even the series up, but I don't know. I feel like we're pretty confident in ourselves. So I don't think there's probably a lot of worry going on.
No, that's perfectly fair. I mean, you guys really step it up when the going gets tough, and that has to do with your confidence. So, maybe that's what it is. Maybe nothing phases you guys. So you guys step it up and do well, no matter what the situation entails. So there's one question coming in from chat for you, Nelly. Luis, aka Worker Coops in chat, asks, what did Rydog say about his goal line save?
There's been a running joke in our chats for a while now. It's like that Geico commercial with the guy holding the dollar bill on the fishing line. Especially when we're like warming up before the game, we'll save each other's shots all the time and say, that was too easy. Gotta be quicker than that. So that's exactly what his response was, which made us all laugh. But just having a good time with it.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. I mean, they did make it more difficult for themselves, but they still were able to pass the challenges that they faced. So well done to Timbers Army for that.
True that.
I mean, you guys are looking pretty much unbeatable at this point. And you guys said you wanted to run it back against Frontera Chrome, later on in the season. Are you guys still of that viewpoint, or are there other opponents you guys are looking forward to facing as well?
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that Chrome match. I think we were looking ahead in the schedule. I think it's our last match of the season.
It is.
So we're gonna have to wait a while. It is? Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have to wait a little while for that. But all the games are fun. The Emerald City teams always give us a run for our money, and just the rivalry there makes it a little bit extra fun. Yeah, those are probably the main ones that we've got our sights set towards.
Sounds good for sure. Now, starting next week, we're going to be entering a 2-week period where it's going to be the cup matches yet again. You guys are still in the cup. You'll be facing off against, if I'm not mistaken,
I think it's
KC Cauldron, yeah. So how are you feeling after I don't know if you watched the full match here. I think you did.
Yes, I did.
What are your thoughts on this KC team now that they've come back into winning ways?
Yeah, that was a good match because, both of those teams had been struggling for form a little bit over the last couple of weeks. So there had to be a winner, and KC came out on top in a somewhat convincing fashion, fielding what I believe to be their best lineup. And, they played well off each other tonight. So we're definitely going to have to take that one seriously if we want to continue our cup run. I don't know what the game plan is as of yet. We'll definitely rotate the squad if all 4 of us are available. But looking forward to it. KC's always been a fun opponent to play against. They've got a lot of talent over there. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Absolutely. We cannot wait for that matchup as well. Final question from me. In 2 weeks' time, the roster update window will open. Has Rydog talked about recruiting and bringing in new players, or are you guys just going to stick with the same squad for the rest of the season?
There's definitely no guarantees of anyone new coming in. There are a few players in our Timbers Discord channel kind of floating around that are inactive. So it'll just be whether or not they want to get going midway through the season, or if they'll just wait potentially to start the following season. So TBD is the answer to your question. Nothing's for sure, but nothing is ruled out. So.
Sounds good. We'll see what happens come 2 weeks' time. Now, I think that's it for my questions. Thank you very much, Nelly, for having this interview. I didn't know if anyone else would be coming in after Spanky, but thanks for stepping up. The floor is all yours. Say what you want to say. Give your shout outs. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, no problem, man. First and foremost, big shout out to Mama Rydog, always in the chat and always showing her support for the boys. We appreciate it so much. Shout out to the team for getting it done tonight, and kudos to LaCinco12 for putting up a good fight. And thank you, Maz, for doing what you do. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it, dude. Thank you very much for the kind words. And GG's, great performance from Timbers Army. I think you were enjoying your time as a spectator. Looking forward to seeing you play next week in the cup as well. Take care, Ryan.
Yes,
Take care,
sir.
Nelly. Have a good night.
Absolutely. You too, man.